The one thing that we do, not only here but all of our facilities, chick barns and everything else, is we keep really good records on everything. So this is the pick sheet, and it's got the time, who was in here, how many eggs they picked up, if there are any dead birds, they'll write that down. And this other sheet has got things like, you know, all the set points of the various controls, what the high-low temperature was, how long the heater's been running throughout the course of the day. And that way, if there's ever a glitch in anything, we can look back and say, okay, why the glitch? Was there something with the feed system? You know, what was going on here? 3,000 birds in here, and we're at 16-to-1 ratio, 16 females to every 1 mate. It's because they're in a confined area. If you put 10-to-1 in here, the cocks are just going to beat the tar out of each other, and they're going to beat up on the hens because they're so confined. But outside, they won't. So 16-to-1 here. Once they get moved outside, we've got roosters that are lit right now. So when these get moved outside in 2 or 3 weeks, the roosters will get put at 10-to-1. So just a little bit on the controls. Without this here controls the fans and the heaters. That's what runs everything, the fans and the heaters. This is the light control. These 4 right here is actually an alarm for the lights. You can imagine light is what causes these birds to lay, and if we get a day or two where somebody doesn't catch it, that the lights are out, the production ceases and we're in trouble. This is the alarm unit itself. It is alarmed for the lights, which I just said, water, temperature, and power. And in this system is a series of phone numbers. And it's going to go right down that list until somebody acknowledges that there's a problem, then it'll quit calling out. This is a wireless system. There's no phone line that runs to this building. The phone line is actually up in the egg wash where you just were, and it shoots a signal down to this barn. So we've got, nope, it's not a cell phone. It's just a radio signal running to this. It's hardwired in up there to our phone line, and it just shoots a radio signal down to this. And the radio actually runs out the wall here. So that's how it communicates. If there's a communication failure with the alarm system, it's going to make a phone call and say, hey, there's a communication problem. So we know what's going on all the time. These are the manual overrides for the fans that are run off of this. So if it's a really warm day and we want to turn the fans on, or maybe we're straw and it's getting a little dusty in there, we can flip these down to the manual position and turn all the fans on. There's 3 banks of fans. There's a 14, 24, and a 48-inch fan in here. 48-inch fan, it will move a lot of air. It doesn't run too much until we get to, later in March when it warms up. Then that will run. But right now it's not running very much at all. This, we've got an inlet that runs the whole length of this barn. That's how we get the fresh air into the barn. So same with this. If it's really cold out, we can choose to just close it so it doesn't bring any cold air in. If it's really warm, we can flip it open and just override this system. Stir fans. When we go in there, you'll see there's 4 circulating fans just hanging on the wall. That stirs the air in the building. And then this is our feed system timer. The feed system timer kicks on, I believe it's 8 or 10 times a day. And the feed system works on when the feed comes in and it fills up, there's sensors, so it won't run. So if this kicks on and the sensors if everything's full, the feed system's not going to run. If it kicks on and it's empty, then the feed system's going to run. The reason we do this, if we just had power to it all the time, it's not running. If they get empty, if the tubes come off from the top, the whole bin would empty out and right into the floor. So we've had 8 tons of feed sitting on the floor in there before, so we figured this is the way to go. So this room also doubles as a chick facility in the summer after we get these birds out and wash and disinfect everything. And those 2 controls here control the brooders, and then that's the gas along that wall. And we've got a dosatron system if we need to. We don't do anything with the breeders, but we do with the chicks, vitamins and stuff. All right, the feed system. Well, we see we've got someone coming here collecting eggs. You saw that bird there, he kind of flipped. All these birds are all clipped. The wings are all clipped. The reason, obviously, if you can imagine if they were not clipped, they'd be flying into things, they'd be breaking their necks, they'd be breaking the eggs that are inside of them. So all of our breeders are clipped, both here and out in the pens. So when you see them kind of spin, that's why they jump up and spin. They can't really do anything. The feed system, it's an automated feed system that comes in from the bin outside, and there's just drop tubes that drop into the bins. That end hopper has got a sensor in it. When that hopper is full, it shuts the incoming motor off. So all these get filled, and then the incoming motor shuts off. There, it was running. And then on the end pans, there's sensors on the end pans. So when that end pan empties out, it will run the auger through the feed system. And you'll notice that every other one of these pans is flipped up. That's because these birds don't need as much feeder space as the chicks when we start them out. And we want to make sure that they eat the end pan out, so it kicks the feed system on. So we flip every other one up. So what we do when we light the birds in here, we actually have 3,000 hens in that side of the building, and we light the cocks in this side of the building. We actually will light the cocks before we light the hens to get them stimulated. When the hens catch up, we open the doors and then just let them mix. And if you want to see a sight, you should be here when those doors get opened up, because the cocks go absolutely crazy.
Like prom night.
Yeah, yeah, prom night. That's exactly what it's like. See, the cocks have hoods on them. We cut so they don't kill each other. They'd kill each other if they didn't have the hoods on. So we'll.
They have complete hoods, not vents.
No, we take the hoods off right before we open the door and put regular blinders, peepers on them, so they can see now. Now they can see everything. So now they're all ready to go, all primed up. They can see, and they open the door and they're like, oh my God, hens! Woo. And it's just like crazy. So, you know, that's how our season gets started. You can see the bedding that we use is wheat straw. We never clean it out while the birds are in here. What we'll do is top dress it. You see there's a big bale in the center, and we'll come in and take that bale and spread it all out. You can tell it's not, you know, it doesn't really smell in here. It's getting a little bit of an odor to it, but it's not really too bad. If you look on the bottom of your shoes, it's not sticking to your shoes. If it starts sticking to your shoes, you know that it's too wet in here. So it's in pretty good shape. If you see that green area right there, that's where we use alfalfa hay. You probably saw it coming in. They're just in the middle of the pen. There's a bale broken open in the middle of the pen. The birds love that alfalfa hay, especially, you know, in a bare pen or in the pens that don't have any cover. You break that open, and those birds are all in it, picking on it. You know, the leafier, the greener, the better it is. So we feed them once a week. We'll just put a bale in there and break it open, and it keeps them occupied, keeps them from picking on each other, does all kinds of things. The leaves, they have some nutritional value there. So typically it's second, third cutting of alfalfa. You know, it gets the leafier stuff. Really what you want is the nice leafy green stuff this time of year. Red things are all the plassins that are hanging. We'll scrub those plassins on a daily basis. That's first thing in the morning. They'll pick up any eggs, and then they'll wash those plassins, scrub them, make sure they're not leaking. All that good stuff. You'll see in the center here and in the corners, you got these little bales. The birds like to lay in the corners, so those bales kind of promote places for the birds to lay eggs. So, but they'll drop them all over. You'll see eggs here and there, and it'll get all over. When the birds first come into production, they kind of lay all throughout the course of the day. Right now, they all kind of, we're at peak production, 2,400 eggs a day. They all synchronize in about 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you won't get very many eggs in the morning, but from 2 or 1 to 3, that's when you get 80% of your eggs. So, and then right before the lights go out, you know, you might pick up 50 eggs.